Okay, I want to welcome you, Ronan Corr, to our to my podcast, to Faking It. Thank you so much for joining me.
So thank you for having me, Liz. I am so happy to be here.
Awesome. I think we should, let's give people a little bit of background on how we know each other. So basically, Ronan is a past student of mine, and we work together now at the Disability Channel and with Owlware, which is a social service agency. And I met Ronan through a program that I've done with individuals with disabilities. And Ronan has a stutter. That's what we're going to be talking about today, right, Ronan?
So that is the right, the ledge.
So Ronan, I know that being nervous or feeling rushed kind of impacts the way that your stutter manifests, right? Mm. So do you want to explain a little bit to people about, I guess what it's like to be you? That's sort of what I'm curious about, to be honest.
Okay, well, in the last couple of years, I've been picking up the bad habit along the way. And I guess it all comes down to how people are always in a hurry and they're always rushing. And I guess for me, how I have to spit out my words and how in a way, so I know what it is I want to say, but it's just how quickly I need, or I think I need to get my words out, that kind of make me feel like I am a deer caught in the headlight. Almost.
You feel like a deer caught in headlights?
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, I guess like if you think about that, if you break that down a little bit, deer is obviously, if they are caught in headlight, they're thinking almost too much that I know what's about to happen, and they're almost frozen. So like they can't make their brain do the thing that they have to do to survive, right?
So yes,
it's an interesting analogy that you use. That it's a very interesting analogy.
And in a way, I have it all up my head.
Right. It's all going on in your head. You know what you want to say.
Yes.
But the output isn't so easy.
So yes.
So with your stutter, there's a few things I want to expand on that you talked about. But firstly, like, is your stutter something that's acquired? Is this something that happened later to you in life, or is this something that you were born with?
This happened when I was born. I had lack of oxygen, and I have brain damage, and my speech pathologist told me, and I believe him in a way, that I am speaking from the wrong part of my the brain.
Oh, interesting. So
Yeah.
whatever, like your brain sort of in a miraculous way learned still to form speech, but it's not from the typical speech area, or maybe some of the speech area isn't fully working or something.
So yes, that's
Oh, okay.
right. Yes.
I see. And you're also hard of hearing, or is it?
What? Yes. I am hard of hearing. Yeah.
Oh, humor. His humor
yeah.
sensor is still intact.
Yeah.
Very good. Right. So you're hard of hearing, or do you say
Yes.
deaf? What do you prefer?
I am so hard of hearing.
Okay. And how does that work into is that a part? Like people might assume that might be a part of why you stutter, or is it two separate things altogether?
It is two like separate things all together. I mean, there are people who are hard of hearing that don't have a speech and impairment.
Don't have a speech impairment.
Yeah.
So it's not mutual. It's not like they're exclusive to each other, right?
Yes,
Like you can be hard of hearing or deaf and not have a stutter, and reverse. Likewise.
Right, yeah.
Okay, and so, you talked a little bit about like it being that people are always so fast paced and like they don't have the time. And I know that you've expressed this in class, and like sometimes I can see you build, like your frustration starts to build, and maybe other people, maybe their frustration starts to build. And I can see what you're saying. Like it is a bit of society. You know, we're also like always working, always moving, have things to do. And like, I think that you have a lot to say, and you challenge the person to like, no, I'm going to finish what I'm going to say. I'm going to get through this. But how is that manifested through your life? Because obviously where are you, in your 30s or 40s?
I am in my forties.
Okay,
now.
Right. So you've had a lot of time where there, like in your life, where there wasn't really cell phones and like that kind of thing. So as a child, what was it like being a child with a stutter or various disabilities? Like
Right.
I don't know if the hearing has also been a big challenge. I don't know what you would consider to be more of a challenge, but what is it like when you were a kid to grow up?
So while I was growing up, I had the normal life. And I guess when I got older in my 30s and now and out in the working force, how today is all on mobile and how everything is on the go, and it
Fast paced and everything. Yeah.
and technology to help us, we can produce more and more.
Oh, okay.
In a way.
All right. Yeah. I want to take it back a little bit, though, too. I'd love to take it back a little bit to when you were a kid. Like you said, oh, I had a normal childhood or whatever. But was it like truly something that you felt there? It didn't phase you. Did you feel different? Did people treat you differently? I'm wondering because I know you talked to me quite a bit about how in adulthood and how in the workplace it's very difficult to like demand people's attention and get them to listen to what you have to say. And you have good things to say, and you're a smart guy who knows web design and all of these things, web applications. So when you were a kid, what was it like to be a kid?
I mean, So when I was a kid, I had a normal childhood. I mean, yes, I had a hard time getting my words out and all that. But the people who I met and the people I hang out with, I didn't really think about that, and they take me for who I am.
Good.
And I guess I did had a couple of people who teased me and all, but we all have those.
That's true. Yeah,
people.
that's a good point. Like
Yeah.
anybody, regardless of like if it's a visible, thing, or if it's we all can and do get teased
Right, yeah.
about something, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's good that you had such a great community. I mean, you seem like a really active person. You have like you're into skiing and like, do you also do some other type of activities, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What else are you involved with?
So I go bowling is another one, and I also do the lawn bowl.
Oh, nice. Long bowling.
Too, yeah,
Cool.
too.
That's awesome.
And that helped me to wind down.
Okay. So it's a bit of like a help in anxiety or anxiousness, or because I know I just worked with you for a while. I know that you can get very like worked up and you might feel very stressed. And is that sort of something that you find makes your stutter worse? Is there like a spectrum? If you're like one-on-one with somebody and you're chill, is that different from if you're like presenting in front of the class? Like how does that affect your stutter?
However, situation is different. I am better with the one-on-one because it helped me to slow down. When there are more people in the room, it seemed, and also that kind of relates my work experience, which I will talk about the next.
Okay.
That when there is a large the group, I also notice that people get interrupted. I'm talking and somebody walking by and ask them the question, or the person I'm talking with have somewhere else we go.
Right. So they feel rushed, or they feel like they don't have enough time.
And that makes me feel rushed.
Right.
And
that affects it?
Yes, it does,
Yeah.
And with the working the world, I mean, I have done well, and I have accomplished a lot. I got married, and I have a daughter. So I now don't have just have me. So I am a husband and a dad, and those two take a lot of my time on too, and it's just a matter of trying to fit it all in a day. So when there's so much that's happening, and for me, I've always taken just a little longer than most people to get to where I need to be. But with but with the pace of the world, it gets me all worked up and all anxious that I am actually better with one-on-one like I am right now. And
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be that often. I mean, you could be on one-on-one, but like there's like a million things going on in the office. You know, like our office is very busy. There's like multiple things. So if it's like you're like talking to somebody about a project you're working on, there's like 5 other people in the background that are laughing about something, and there's someone over there greeting a new person, and then there's like printers going off and phones. Like it's definitely not a super quiet environment. I am curious though, with your wife and your daughter, is it a totally different thing? Like, do you get home and you're so comfortable there, unless like something irritates you, maybe get worked up, but are you really like, do you find that it's less of a thought or struggle with your stutter when you're with your family?
Yes, it is. I can just say the words and they will come out just as if I want them out when I'm with my people who I work with, and again, it's all different situation, and I do have to think about the techniques that I use.
Right. So this is like from speech therapy? Is that
Yeah.
or therapy in general
Yeah.
that you've been taught?
Yeah, and at times when I overthink about it, it gets worse.
Oh, interesting. So it's almost like if it was just a afterthought,
Yeah,
it would be smoother.
Yeah, this like happened with anyone. How if you overthink about it, it gets worse. Than
Yeah, that makes sense too. Like I play some musical instruments and I play the drums. And if I'm playing along with the song, like I've got my headphones on and I'm jamming or whatever, and I don't think about what I'm doing, like, because you're using your 2 arms when you're drumming, you're using your foot for the bass and the other foot for the hi-hat. So when you're drumming, like if I'm not thinking about it, I'm like doing great. So it's almost like a turning off. But as soon as I start to think about like, am I doing it close enough to what the song beat is? Maybe I should do that, and I screw up like instantly. So it's interesting, eh? It's like the brain plays those awful tricks on us.
I guess it's all based on the brain, the damage that I had.
Right, yeah. So obviously it's not the same as what I'm talking about, but I think that brain damage in terms of it's injured a part of your brain that doesn't allow the output to be as fluid, right? Like, is that...
Yes.
Right, okay. And so what kind of techniques and therapy have you seeked out, and like what's worked for you? Because I know I see you using some of those techniques. Like I can tell you'll stop and you'll breathe to be able to like get that, your full breath to calm yourself down. But like, what kind of things have you used?
Yes, that's right. It's the whole the breath is the one that is biggest for me, and also when I began to say my words. So I take in my full breath, and sometimes when I take in my air, I begin to speak. But it actually, I turn on my speech as I am releasing my air. And there's also some other technique too, with all the different sounds, like the
plosives, right? Yeah,
and the hard.
So things with hard P sounds,
P and in a way, I gotta to make them small.
Make the sound small?
Yeah.
Make the sound small, yeah.
Think of the next word. Or like, yes, here I had a hard time with small. So I go small.
Oh, interesting. So, but if you're to start with a heavier sound, it's difficult to get out.
So yes,
Interesting. Okay.
harder sound. But again, I have to remember a technique with the one I actually use all the time is to reduce the articularity. So the like ball is ball. So I look at
So you're
the
almost
A.
adding more air to it.
So I look
You're
at,
concentrating on like elongating the A.
yeah.
Okay. And that helps it get out.
So yes.
Interesting.
It
And
does.
so those are speech therapy techniques.
Yes, they
Okay.
are.
And you've been doing speech therapy for how long?
Well, I have been speech therapy. I began when I was real young, and I went to the sick kids hospital. And then when I was 18, I went to a preparatory who really broke me down again, and I to build up again. And one of the things that he had noticed was that I was doing all my breathing from up in my upper chest.
Oh, so you weren't filling your diaphragm.
No,
Right.
no, I
Like a
wasn't.
singer would fill their diaphragm for something, right? So it's like,
Yes,
right.
yeah.
You actually told me something earlier about singing that I found to be really interesting. If you sing, you don't have a stutter.
No, I don't.
Wow.
I think, and the reason is that, and this happened with everyone. So when you sing, you are using a different piece of the brain.
Right.
So that's
So that's
why,
obviously not a
yeah.
piece that has any sort of damage sustained from injury at birth, right?
Right, yeah.
Right. Okay. Very interesting.
It is.
So what do you want people to really like know about interacting with, I mean, like personally, I've worked with lots of different types of people. I've only ever had a few people in my life that have had a stutter, and it's been very mild. So, I mean, there is a learning curve, and there's, you're really good with expressing or like telling the people sort of what to, not necessarily what to expect, but like you let people know your experiences, and you let people know like what frustrates you and stuff. So what do you want people to know about working with you, interacting with you, or interacting with people who might have a stutter? What is it that your message is?
Well, I mean, this is who I am, because I have a speech and impairment. I bring out the best of me and through my personality. And I guess in one way, that's the one thing that people recognize about me, and that I have a great personality. I'm enthusiastic and also very determined. And for me, that is a trade-off. But I got to learn that, hey, the person knows me now. And it's true, the one I get to know an individual, it becomes easier on me a bit. But again, if there's a lot of people in the room or a lot of things happening at once, it doesn't really help a bit at all. But the one-on-one is the easiest for me. Or my preferred situation. And now in our conversation here, I had some hard times to get my words out, but then there are times when I am on a roll.
Right, yeah, definitely.
So overall, I am happy the way I am with my words and how I am talking, and I am using my technique. However, though, I know that sometimes I get whipped up, and that basically because I don't practice enough.
You're not practicing your techniques.
Yeah.
So you just kind of, everything else you have to fit into your day, right?
Enough,
and is that practicing like sitting and saying like a section of words, or is that practice like remembering that every time you speak throughout the day to like use those techniques? Is that what you're meaning, or do you have to like dedicate some time to it? Separate.
I have to dedicate time to it.
Okay.
And again, the one I'm on my own, it's easy. I can do anything. So why can I actually be like this when I have the one individual in a room? And I think because the one individual in a room, I go, I have. So now I'm becoming to overthink a bit.
Okay.
And it gets and it's harder when I'm figuring out. Mm-hmm. So when I am on a roll, like I have been, it becomes easier. For talking a little while now, so it becomes a bit easier now. And today, coming back to the working environment when people are, I find that people want to have the answer immediately or have things done right away. Mm-hmm. It don't have time to work up through it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
yeah, I guess in essence, it's about people giving you time and slowing down and realizing that they can give you that respect and make eye contact and listen to what you have to say and clarify if they don't understand, right?
Yes.
That's it. Yes. I mean, it's pretty simple.
I mean, it's easy then done.
Oh yeah, totally. 100% easier said than done. But
Yeah.
that's all really good insights. I really appreciate you coming on to the show today and talking about your experiences.
So thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Liz.
Yeah, I think it's been great working with you, Ronan. Congrats on finishing your course. And you have a bright future ahead of you, I think, for web design. You do a lot of web applications. So if anybody's interested, I'll post Ronan's profile that he has, his work that he's been working on, and professionally and in the class. And people can check out what you're made of. If you need a website, go to Ronan.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Ronan.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Liz.
Thanks.
This has been an Evoke Media podcast.